Amidst the buzzing neon glow of a packed underground market, a shop sign flickers on to reveal a chilling price list for kidneys and corneas. Deep inside, the phantom blade, known as Garo, speaks to Alex, who has already given away several of his organs before. Alex insists he's okay as long as he can get his sister safe. As the sharp blade is lifted, he is told to freeze, and then his scream follows. Soon after, Alex stumbles out of the room, grabbing at the parts of his body where his organs have been taken. He glances around and sees that no one has followed him. His wound snaps shut as new skin rushes to cover it. Later, Alex clutches the cash he earned and says it's enough for the transfer ritual. He dashes down a dark alley and admits he made it all up, revealing he has no sick sister and is actually an orphan. In a world filled with monsters and dangerous dungeons, where survival is nearly impossible for him, everything shifts the moment he finds his special ability. Alex can grow back from even the worst wounds, healing his body in just minutes. Alex clutches the money he earned and remembers his promise to get stronger and protect the people who matter most. The ritual day has arrived and Alex is thrilled until Teacher Wong spots him with a shocked look, realizing he can't afford to participate. Alex lies and says he had to borrow money just to show up. Alex's friends quietly warn him that his dreams are dead unless he finds a job that actually matters. The teacher is pushing Alex to move fast because the big class switch is about to start. As the crowd of students watches, a glowing orb lifts up just as the ritual begins. Principal Gosh calls the next name, and soon it's Du, a poor kid from Class 5, who steps forward to take his turn. Du rests his hand on the glowing orb while Principal Gosh tells him to relax his body. As light surged upward, the orb reacted to show he had awakened a support class called Poultry Breeder. Principal Gosh tells everyone to calm down and reminds them that support classes are actually helpful, not useless, to keep them from losing hope. Next up is Nini, the famous fire mage. The students cheered and praised her as if she were a goddess. The principal smiles and wishes Nene good luck as she steps forward to thank him. Suddenly, fire bursts forth as her class wakes up and shows off a mighty fire mage power. As Gosh reveals she is an SSS rank fire mage, the crowd erupts in cheers, marveling at her incredible talent. Watching from the side, Alex feels lucky because she can stand up against an entire army. Gosh lets Nene know her move to the new class is done and says he'll talk about her training plan later. Alex stepped up next, refusing to become just a background character to Nene. He puts his hand on the orb after waiting a long time for this moment. His eyes sharpen as power flows from the glowing orb into his body. As Alex's class wakes up, a burst of icy power shoots from the orb and fills the room with frost, growing stronger and sending waves of cold outward until the magical form appears. Alex stands right in the middle of the bright light as the waking up settles down. The students nearby freeze in shock, wondering just what kind of class this could be. Gosh watches closely and starts calling out the result while Alex waits for the final answer. The principal admits he has just unleashed a forbidden curse masterclass. The announcement freezes everyone in disbelief as the nearby students stare in shock. Whispers traveled through the crowd as everyone wondered how a group like that could just show up. Nene watches him closely and remarks on how strange his result looks. Alex stands still and quiet, listening as his classmates whisper in fear and disbelief about the class. Gosh chides Alex for his gloomy thoughts and reassures him that masters of curses are so rare that he shouldn't worry. Alex politely thanks him and shows no worry about being in the curse class because his regeneration power makes him like a ghost who can't die. Then he suddenly asks out loud what this class has to do with his endless life, which surprises everyone. And as students walk down the academy steps, he decides to head home, but is stopped by a classmate calling his name. Nene steps forward and urges them to join forces, warning that every cursed master they defeat only shortens the others' lives. Alex listens calmly, politely declines with a thank you, and then walks away, muttering that the strange encounter felt odd, while she remarks that he is stubborn and heading toward death. Suddenly, a group of classmates, including the wealthy bully Luke, steps in front of him. Alex keeps his cool and tells everyone to step out of the way. Luke just laughs and keeps goading him, saying Alex will end up working security and using his paycheck to take care of his orphanage family. Luke laughs at Alex, telling the orphan he doesn't deserve a family and ordering him to get down on one knee. Suddenly, an invisible push surges forward, making the students around him freeze in fear. Alex's eyes sharpen as power surges inside him, crackling energy rising above his hand while his friends stare in shock, causing Luke to ask why he'd do this before Alex sharply warns them never to speak about his dead family again. A sudden burst of dark energy crashes down, slamming Luke and his friends into the ground. leaving them lying there injured and shaken as they finally realize what Alex just did. Alex reaches out with a quiet smile and says, "Come at me if you dare." Panic takes hold as the group jumps up and sprints away while screaming for help. Alex tightened his bag, tossed the items aside as useless, and noted that getting them done took just one try. Alex winces in pain as the curse magic he just used sends a harsh shockwave through his body. From afar, Nin watches and thinks that even a curse master like Alex has crossed the line this time. The scene moves to Alex's building, where he arrives home at night, drops his bag with relief, and sits alone to wonder how much more he'd have to give up to make his lightning stronger. Alex lies in bed, groaning as his body heals and makes his head spin. He gazes up at the ceiling and whispers that he is totally exhausted. Over in another place, Luke storms up to his dad, Mr. Jin, and screams that he wants revenge for what was done to him. Jin stays calm, brushes it off, and warns that taking out a trip-rank curse user is too dangerous and won't help anyone. He tells Luke that Alex grew up poor, so he should use his own money to hit Alex's weak spot while yawning and admitting he's still a bit sleepy. Suddenly, a voice calls out his name, and it's Luke walking toward him. Luke asks Alex if he's eaten, hands him a bag of breakfast, and tries to sound friendly. Alex stares at the food with suspicion, wondering if he's about to be poisoned, while Luke laughs and insists the meal was made just for him. Luke stammers a clumsy thank you to Alex, admitting that getting beaten up made him think hard about things. He leans in and asks Alex to call him Big Brother. Alex stares with a puzzled frown, refusing to believe Luke's promises that he can change and become better. He then mentions money and offers to help because Alex doesn't have enough cash. Luke casually mentions moving Alex's tuition money, acting as if it's just a tiny cost. A big testing hall appears as an announcement declares the notice board is open and the test will start soon. A swirling, glowing whirlwind appears to serve as the gateway for students from every academy to step through. Cheers erupt as the group cheers and shouts victory. Nearby, teachers from various schools watch and say the students picked for the top jobs this year look amazing. Principal Gosh jaw drops as the crowd starts picking apart Alex's strange behavior. Another principal hushed the debate and insisted we get moving instead of just talking. An announcement gathers everyone to the field, but when Nene offers to team up with Alex, he rejects her without thinking and leaves her calling him arrogant. As Alex is dragged into the test zone, a brilliant golden glow swallows him and plummets straight down into a forest. He glanced around and figured he'd been sent off alone, wondering if that teleport had been a mistake. A beast spots him and roars, but Alex stays calm and just says it's nothing but a small creature. A dark energy coils around his arm as he gets ready to try a dangerous spell. Alex wipes out the creature with a single spell, but walking away, he realizes the reward is too small and the side effects make this way too slow. As the beast roars and charges at Alex, he realizes that beating this monster would give him some good experience. Alex slams into the ground as dark curse energy rushes through him, but he quickly steadies himself. He then readied himself to try out his new forbidden curse on the monster. A huge surge of energy erupts around Alex, sending power flying wildly in every direction. The spell explodes and rips right through the ground with all its might. Waves of dark energy cut through the monster, shattering it apart so Alex can sprint through the chaos and land the final hit. The ground crumbles and swallows the fight as the last blow sweeps everything away in one go. The backlash catches up to Alex, and his arm wrinkles and weakens like an old man's just from the curse he used. He realizes he can't show his immortal form and chooses to put an end to the burning curse that lets him be reborn. He sparks a power within himself to stay strong and steady. Alex gives something up yet again as power begins to swirl around him. Glowing symbols spread beneath him as another burst of energy explodes. A huge burst of energy crashes down from the sky while the curse keeps getting stronger. The system beeps constantly as monsters drop one after another and treasures pile up. Alex freezes as he levels up, shocked to find the power far stronger than he ever imagined. The forest goes quiet under the night sky as the destruction finally ends. From a distance, Nene stares in shock at the pile of ash, realizing just how many monsters have been destroyed. Neen feels a strange light up ahead and worries if it is hellfire. She watches the shifting energy around her and knows there can't be another fire user like her nearby. Her eyes sharpen as she feels something strange, realizing the destruction was caused by a human with firepower just as strong as hers. Scorched bones are scattered everywhere, proving that so many monsters have been turned into ash. Alex sat on the ground, munching on monster meat, and said it actually tasted pretty good. Having eaten his fill, he sets off to a new spot to keep hunting monsters. He suddenly feels someone close by and whirls around just as a voice calls out his name. Nene steps out and asks Alex why he is there. Alex felt a wave of irritation wash over him when he realized he'd bumped into her again. Alex tells her he's just casually cooking something to eat and warns that his class isn't meant for fighting alone. Nene tells him it's too late to turn back and insists on following him, even though he refuses. Alex stares at her in shock and can't understand how she thinks. She quickly shifts the conversation to see if anyone else has walked past. Alex showed the way they went and jumped when she mentioned Hellfire again. Nene points the finger at Alex, convinced that without his interference, she would have easily caught the Hellfire user. She suddenly feels something is off and looks up with a confused look. Suddenly, a terrifying level 8 dragon beast springs down from above, showing its true, monstrous form. Nene gets knocked away as the monster slams down with all its might. She fights to get up, but she knows there is no way to beat it. Nene glanced around, puzzled about where Alex had gone, convinced he'd long since moved away. She hurls a storm of fireballs at the beast, trying to stop it. The monster takes heavy hits as explosions rock its body over and over. Even after being struck, the beast is still alive and stares with its glowing eyes right at her. Suddenly, it plummets from above and crashes into Nene with all its power. Nene pulls what's left of her strength together and says she will fight the beast until the very end. She lets loose a wild stream of fire spells that fly forward one after another. The fire crashes straight into the monster, sending explosions flying across its body. Her eyes go wide with shock as she realizes the attack didn't work the way she thought. The angry reaction crashes into her as fire erupts around her, and she screams in pain. The huge dragon, covered in blood, stands calm while fire keeps burning underneath it. Nene drops to her knees in pain, admitting her arrogance was wrong because she realizes no one can defeat a level 8 monster by themselves. A forbidden curse known as Hellfire erupts as a dark red flame that surges forward and crashes violently across the ground. The blazing curse explodes outward just as the attack fully detonates. Nene freezes in shock as she watches the massive level 8 dragon blood beast vanish instantly under the Hellfire. She looks up, realizes Alex is the one who saved her, catches her breath, and thanks him while asking for his name. Alex walks out quietly, introduces himself by spelling his name backward to stay hidden. Nene gasps in agony, fighting to pull her body together after the beating she just took. She asks Alex where he goes to school and tells him she wants to thank him properly for saving her life. Alex shook his head and said it was just a small thing, not worth the thanks. She tries to hold him back, but he warns her not to follow because even scarier monsters wait just ahead. He warns her that the place is too dangerous and casually tells her to pull her clothes back on properly. Nene calls out in surprise, loses her balance, and tumbles to the ground. She scrambles to her feet, startled by someone appearing right behind her. She straightens up and promises that one day she will stand proudly next to Alex. Alex pushes forward through the woods, still feeling the dark energy humming around him. As he walked away, he let out a breath and whispered to himself that she was clinging to him once more. Alex realizes he lost time and must hurry to keep gaining levels. He looks over the cursed spell and sees it can cancel out deadly hits, but it usually comes with a heavy price. He realizes that his broken state lets him speak any curse, even those that demand a sacrifice, without breaking his rules. A close-up on his eye reveals his excitement as he finally sees just how broken this ability is. Holding the glowing curse in his hand, Alex shouts that he can finally level up without any limits. By the third day, the arena is packed with a roaring crowd as the test reaches its final, thrilling stage. The examiner waves hello and shouts that today is the final day of the test. Over by the trophies, a group of teachers look at the current scores and wonder if any student will break them this year. A new arrival praises the group's refined taste, prompting Nene's leading astrologer, Dad, to step in and share his thoughts. He chats briefly with the leaders and shares his worry about the recent trouble his daughter has been in. Right next to us, a flash of blue power jumps into view because the test field suddenly starts acting up. They turn their focus to the mess and worry that someone might have gotten hurt. A few moments later, Nene steps out of the portal and becomes the center of everyone's attention. Nene rushes over to greet the leaders and asks why her dad is there, while Zora casually answers and shows a glowing screen revealing she is already level 12. The people around them froze in shock, realizing the record had been broken way earlier than anyone guessed. Zora cheers on her own fast pace while the others whisper in fear at how quickly she is growing. As she listens, Nene quietly wonders if she left early just to find Alex. Alex sneezes suddenly and looks around, puzzled by what just happened. As he walked through the ruined land, he felt it was odd that it wasn't cold and wondered if someone was cursing him. He sees that even the weakest monsters are gone and wonders if he rushed through the level. He decides to hurry things along by casting a new spell he just learned, one that is strictly forbidden. Alex flicks on a dance that happens in an instant by giving up a kidney to make it work. Alex feels like he's flying, moving so fast that even the best assassins can't keep up. He laughs to himself, spins through the forest, and pushes himself to keep moving. He blasts forward like a streak of lightning, ripping through the ground at breakneck speed. The forest melts into streaks as his movement cuts a straight path through the trees. Several monsters spot the trouble and turn right as Alex gets close enough to strike. Alex spots the scary three-headed storm mantis and makes it his target. He speeds forward and gives up something precious to strike again. A forbidden spell of lightning strikes the monster down and destroys it in a split second. As people gathered at the exit, they stared in shock at the huge mess left behind. From afar, Nene grows puzzled as she waits for Alex to show up. A voice booms across the arena, shouting that just 5 minutes are left before the test ends. Nene looks around, confused, wondering if she somehow missed Alex at the exit. She feels a shift in the air and spins around to see someone coming toward her. Alex pops up right in front of her, making her wonder why he was out so late. She screams at him like a coward and yells to stay away. Alex scowls, puzzled by the sudden shift in Nene's attitude toward him. Principal Gosh steps forward and asks Alex just how far he got on the test. A glowing screen lights up to show that Alex has finally reached level 16. The crowd gasps in shock as they see he has totally shattered the old record. Alex needed a mountain of experience to reach level 16, and the rules made everyone stare in shock. Gosh laughs with pride, cheering for Alex as the true star of Korra Academy. But Nene notes that those forbidden curse masters have a knack for leveling up faster than anyone else. Some say that using those forbidden curses will cost Alex his life long before he can go any further. Principal Sue looked at Alex with a serious expression and asked if he had truly chosen to risk his life just to bring honor to the academy. Alex says firmly that no one pushed him down this road because he walked it all by himself. The principal clapped, cheering on Alex's big dream and declaring him the top student in the beginner's secret realm test. Then Zora steps forward and introduces himself. Nene argues that once the masked man is unmasked, he will be promoted above Alex. Principal Sue shakes his head, saying he's never heard of the masked man and wonders which academy he belongs to. After politely saying goodbye to Gosh and Zora, Alex agrees to head home and rest in preparation for his upcoming exam. The loud announcement says the test is finally done, but the big door to the next world is still standing wide open. Nene stared at the portal, wondering where the masked man had vanished and blaming him for sneaking away so quietly. Zora thinks it's weird and wonders if Alex is the person she's been looking for. Nene argues with Zora, demanding that Alex not be compared to her, and Zora thinks on those words before deciding to accept Nene's point for now. Back home, Alex relaxes on the couch until he suddenly feels a presence right behind him. He spins around at the noise, shocked to find someone has been following him all the way here. A sharp-dressed man knocks on the door, calls his name Wong, and says he wants to find Alex. Wong asks Alex how he can help and tells him there's a big prize for the job. Alex asks what substantial really means as the man hints that the price is incredibly high. When the price was revealed to be $3 million, Alex couldn't help but stare in shock. Alex repeats the number in stunned disbelief as Wong offers him a vial of brain-boosting liquid worth more than his kidneys, promising to restore his youth, so Alex opens it and gulps it down without a second thought. He says it tastes sweet and feels just right at first. Before you know it, the dizziness hits as the effect starts to take hold. Elsewhere, Wong confirms the trick worked and stands by for his next orders. That night, his boss asked why so much effort was put into finding Alex. Jin checks that the job is done, tells him not to ask any questions, and orders him to get out. Jin checks Alex and sees that every organ he sold has grown back perfectly. Jin stares in shock, realizing that this power might hold the key to bringing organs back to life. He pictures the huge power and control they would have once they figured out that secret. Jin's eyes snap open as she reacts to a sudden disturbance. Jin panics, wondering how Alex could wake up so fast despite the drug. Alex answers calmly, saying he's more curious about how Jin found him. Jin drops her polite mask, threatens him, and coldly points out that he's a level 20 job changer. With no other choice left, Alex gets ready to move, knowing that using fire magic would bring way too much attention. He then opens his eyes to a blinding white void, giving up his sight to release the cursed power of eternal freezing. Jin stares in shock as the freezing curse wraps around him, trapping him while he fights hard to break free, knowing Alex's spell shouldn't be able to stop him. The moment shatters his confidence when he sees that Alex is only level 16 while he stands at level 20. Alex then quietly asks him who else knows about his power to grow new organs. Alex decides that getting the answer is enough, so he says he'll believe him for now and handle things quickly. Jin screams with terror as the freezing curse tightens around him. Alex smashes him through the ice with a savage hit, then walks away muttering that the drug made him feel sick and that he should sacrifice his stomach next. The icy prison crumbles as the curse finally takes hold. Jin pleads for her life while Alex stays calm and demands to know who is really pulling the strings. Alex pushes Jin to spill the truth as the curse tightens, and in fear she admits their boss is Kenta, the underground king of Korra. When Alex hears the name, he knows trouble is coming and the situation has just gotten much worse. Meanwhile, Kenta, the king of the underground market, gathers his men and questions them after hearing some worrying news. He discovers that Alex has vanished and there is no way to reach him. A report has arrived saying the farmhouse is gone, probably blown up by a job changer. Enraged, Kenta commands his men to track down the culprit right away. In another part of the mansion, Luke greets Alex with a warm welcome. Luke tries to mention the 2 million, but Alex shuts him down before he can say more. Luke listens and walks Alex through the big house. As they walk along, Luke thinks about Alex and believes his father will handle a guy like him without any trouble. At the same time, Alex is sure that Kent's people will find him with no difficulty. They reach the massive mansion, and Alex is left speechless by just how wild and fancy it looks. Alex stares at the fancy clothes laid out for him and says life here feels totally different. So Luke asks which look he wants and offers to bring it to his room right away. While Luke teases Alex not to be shy, several attendants step forward to help him get changed. Luke drops a hint that something huge is coming and promises he'll explain everything once they get there. They step into a huge hall where Luke explains it's Korra's yearly auction, and Alex is blown away by just how big it is. Luke tells Alex that all of Korra's important people are there and says he'll introduce him to them later. As Luke strolls through the venue, he looks down on everyone else and claims that poor folks will never gain the same experience as he has. Alex turns away from it, grabs his food, and starts eating because he is so hungry after working all night. He stops dead in his tracks the moment he hears his name called. Nene steps up beside her friend Yanni and asks who the stranger is. Alex is fed up and keeps asking himself why he runs into Nene over and over. Nene spots that he commands a fire and wonders if he is truly the same person. Alex watches her with silence, thinking about what she would say if she ever found out the real truth about who he really is. You can hear footsteps echoing as a group creeps up from behind. Luke then steps up and introduces Alex to everyone, boldly calling him his boss, which leaves the whole group staring in shock. Their shock grows when they find out Alex is already level 16 and sitting at the top of the novice secret realm. Alex soothes everyone and whispers that he knows the secret to leveling up. They talked about training outside the city, but they were worried about getting in trouble before the big exam. Alex agrees to help them train outside the city despite the danger, and when he asks about gear, Luke says getting equipment is no problem at all. Luke tells Alex not to worry and promises that as long as he helps Luke get stronger, Luke will handle everything else. Alex looks shocked when Luke says they can buy whatever gear they want at the auction. Luke insists that acing the big exam is far more important than money, with his dad promising to cover the costs. But then the mood shifts as the auctioneer climbs the stage to welcome everyone. The queen walked onto the stage to welcome everyone to the auction for the treasure pavilion. As she wishes everyone luck finding their treasures, the crowd cheers them on with loud applause. She then presents the first item, an epic fire-type skill scroll perfect for mages. The moment the auction begins, the crowd gets excited and the price starts shooting up fast. The room goes dead quiet as Zora suddenly jumps the bid to 3 million. Alex notices that Nene has to buy expensive skill books, but he doesn't need any of them. Alex tells Luke to look for gear that saves his life instead of chasing cool powers. The auctioneer then steps forward to reveal a super rare ring that boosts your spiritual power by 30% and adds a special ability. As the bidding war heats up and prices skyrocket, Luke grabs the moment to say that the ring is a game changer they desperately need. He then turns to Mr. Jin and asks him to make a bid on the item. The price suddenly skyrockets to 8 million, leaving everyone in the auction hall wide-eyed and stunned. As the crowd reacts, the bid comes out again. Kenna steps up and bumps the price all the way to 10 million. As people realize he is the hidden ruler of Korra, the air grows heavy with tension. Alex glances over and finally makes out Kenna's face. Alex clicked his tongue and decided to stay out of it. Kenna steps right up to Jin and asks her to explain what she did wrong. Jin speaks softly but keeps raising the price instead of backing down. He finally agrees to settle things out properly, promising that the final outcome will be decided at the very end. Soon after, Kenna's men find out the warehouse attack was done by the Gene Group. Kenna accepts what happened and warns the Gene Group never to touch Alex's family. The auctioneer shouts that the ring is sold for $12 million and hands it over. Luke thanks Jin, then turns to Alex to ask his opinion on the ring. Alex warns him to be careful because the auction has drawn too much attention. Up close, the ring shows off its polished look and stronger spiritual power. Alex says the ring not only lifts his spiritual power, but also turns up his luck. Feeling completely exhausted, he asks Luke to pick the gear while he rests. Several mighty accessories are laid out, each one giving you new powers. Alex realizes these aren't just regular things, but special gear that will help him survive and get better. He then draws a sword and says it's powerful enough to block magic spells. Alex swings his sword and finds it solid, while Nene, soaking in a bath, wonders why the Gene family keeps backing him despite their huge expenses on him. Then an attendant tells her that Yanni has arrived with the answer she was looking for. Nene tells the attendant to wait, while she gets a few more things done. Nene tracks down an investigator named June and presses him for any news on Alex. June tells her he knows something, but he warns her that it's going to be bad news. Nene is so confused she asks what he means. June tells Nene that the farm in Korra was burned by Alex, so Nene is shocked and can't believe he could be a killer. June tries to calm Nene down by telling her that Alex took out several enemies with just one mighty swing. He then says the investigation points to Alex as the main suspect. Nene shakes her head in shock, screaming that Alex is far too scared to ever do something like that. June leans in closer and asks once more if she is sure. As June turns on the lie detector, Nene shakes her head hard, swearing she knows Alex and that he is definitely not to blame. June decides no one is lying and rules out Alex as the suspect. But later that night, Luke takes Alex to a training venue where staff are getting ready for him to test his new equipment. When someone asked him how strong he was, Alex simply said he was level 16. He then walks into a massive training room labeled 40 and gets ready to begin. Alex makes sure no cameras are watching before he lets himself move freely. He casts a curse spell to test the power of a life sword. A huge rush of power flies forward as he swings. The attack crashes down and rips right through the training room. After seeing the results, Alex decides to try other curse spells, and outside, Luke points out that the exam is coming up and how hard Alex has been training. Alex steps out to say he won't pay for the damage, and the staff agrees. Alex yells at Luke to get out right now, while the staff stands frozen in shock after walking into the training room and seeing all the damage Alex has caused. While guards stand guard outside the Jin family home, chaos suddenly breaks loose inside. A man stumbles forward while holding his head as everyone else shouts to ask what is going on. Panic spreads as one man flinches in terror, while Jin inside freezes, confused by the sudden screams. Soon, a servant bursts in and yells for him to run away right now. He lets out a scream as something invisible tears right through him. Kenna steps forward and calmly says hello to Mr. Jin. Jin panics, grabs a gun, and yells for Kenta. In a split second, Kenta swats the weapon out of his hand and slams him down to the ground. From above, Kenta sneers at him, saying weapons are useless against an awakened one, while a subordinate rushes to tell him they couldn't find a target. Kenta, growing restless, yells at them to keep searching without wasting any more time. Outside Jin's house, people still stand around as the night sky shines above them. Just then, Alex shows up and instantly knows something is wrong because the lights have gone out. The scent of blood drives him to sprint straight for the building. Alex flings the door open and rushes in, feeling that something is very wrong. Luke warns him not to forget that this isn't their home. Luke looks down the hall and shouts for his dad and Uncle Fu. When Alex finds a note on the floor and hands it to Luke, Luke immediately rages and claims Kenna is to blame. Alex pulls him aside to take the blame, promising to hide and rescue Mr. Jin all by himself. Just as Luke tries to talk his way out of it, Alex shuts him down with a quick, powerful hit. Alex steps up to help, pledging to bring Jin back home safe and sound. Alex gently lays Luke down, his hands stained with blood as he holds him steady. Alex stood up, tightened his fist, and shouted that he would face Ken himself. In another place, his dark shape slips silently down a tight alleyway. The secret entrance to the Korra underground black market opens up, watched over by guards in a heavy silence. Alex lands close by and moves toward it without stopping. Alex slipped inside and moved so quickly that no one noticed him right away. Soon, he figured out the whole thing was off because he had been found way too fast. Two men step out and ask him why he's hiding in the dark. They told him that the black market uses super hot infrared eyes to see in the dark, and that the boss has been waiting all along. Alex realizes it's easier to just charge straight, and even though enemies are blocking the path. He ignites the power of rebirth, and wild energy explodes all around him. As someone watches him, they realize he plans to sacrifice himself once more to keep fighting. The backlash strikes, and Alex visibly ages, marked by the curse. Gunfire rains down from above, while Alex twists through the air to dodge the shots. A huge wave of cursed energy erupts, twisting into a violent spinning storm, while gunshots keep cracking out below. Alex flickers into a ghostly dance, pushing his speed up to the limit. He dashes forward and shouts that he has arrived. The foes instantly fight back, sending sharp blades of wind flying straight at him. Alex dodges the enemies and races away, just as his attack blows up right behind him. As Alex awakens a wind power that jumps past level 30, the wind-tight energy surges wildly around him. Two figures step out, sneering at him and saying the boss wants him to live. Alex squeezes his hand hard around his sword, calls upon its life-giving power and the Starfall trace, and dashes forward to strike. An enemy screams and blasts Alex with a sudden wind attack, right up close. Alex swings his blade and claims his first sword, but as the clash erupts, another opponent steps in to fire a wind blade that Alex blocks. Alex never pauses. He parries the blow and swings his second sword. They laughed and mocked Alex, sneering that he wasn't strong enough. Alex charges forward, shouting that they still don't get his sword skills. He swings and lets go of his third blade, then instantly strikes again with his fourth from a different angle. As he throws out the fifth, sixth, and seventh swords one after another in a blur, the pressure keeps climbing. Alex leaps higher and brings his eighth sword down with a powerful sweep to finish the move. As Alex lands near the enemy shouting for the seventh brother, he presses a hand to his chest and realizes the eighth sword is incredibly powerful. He stands over a fallen foe with his sword while the enemy asks what move he just used. Alex turns away and says he doesn't need to know, while nearby another enemy slumps against the wall to call out to the fifth brother as Alex stays standing. The enemy shrieks that Alex isn't human and shouts that he is a devil. Alex stands framed by wild, angry power, and as the accusation rings out, he calmly lifts his hand without a single second of doubt. Alex stands up and says that nobody in this room will make it out alive before the night ends. A terrible explosion tears right through the hallway. The other enemies run away in fear and scream for help, while Alex walks forward calmly as cursed energy spreads behind them and shadows of his sword slide along the walls. One survivor sprints down the stairs with Alex right on their heels. Alex tells him not to run and quietly says he has to count again. His red eye sharpens, locking onto something waiting just ahead. Zugo, the black market's top fighter, steps forward and notes that it's been a long time since anyone dared to cause trouble here. He stares at Alex, wondering what secret he is hiding, and watches in disbelief as Alex keeps standing even though he is hurt. Suddenly Alex bursts in, just as Zugo warns that he will suffer a slow death. His strike hits so hard it rips the corridor apart. Alex strikes a pose that makes fire and light explode around him. Zugo laughs and realizes that this cursed master gains power by giving up his own life. Their weapons smash together up close, sending a shock wave exploding between them. Alex gets launched backward and smashes right into the wall. Alex stealing his nerves. He knows he is about to face Zugo, a terrifying level 42 awakened being. Zugo scoffs and asks why a cursed master would bother trusting a sword. Suddenly, a red line slashed right through the air between them. The blade slices deep into Alex's chest, and blood spills out as the blow lands. Alex was launched into the air and crashed hard onto the ground. Zugo steps forward with bare feet and charges in without a second thought. He tells Alex that it was just a warning, but Alex is already on the ground. Zugo calmly watches the fight and tells Alex that his sword skills aren't enough when the enemies get too close. Alex steadies himself and admits he was forced into this, now that his injuries are healing. Alex steps up to choose another victim before the next deadly move. Alex holds his ground as crackling lightning coils around his blade. A giant blue lightning bolt comes crashing down and soaks up the whole place. Zugo stares in shock as the attack smashes right into him. A flash of lightning blasts him backward, leaving the hallway scorched as the power fades away. Alex stands in the broken hallway, admitting his sword skills aren't good enough yet, then walks down the stairs feeling dizzy from having given up too many organs at once. Far away, Kenna lies on a bed with his girlfriend, who asks if anything went wrong down there. He hands over the food with a relaxed smile, acting like everything is perfectly fine. In the next instant, Alex bursts through the wall in a flash of lightning and shouts Kenna's name. Kenna sneers at Alex and immediately demands to know where Zugo is now that he's finally shown up. Alex shoots forward without hesitation and shouts that Kenta is up next. Without a care in the world, Kenta raises his arm to block the attack. The force jerks his head to the side, yet he stands firm and doesn't budge. Suddenly, Kenta grabs Alex by the throat and stops him in his tracks with all his might. Kenta flung Alex aside and shouted that he'd wasted enough time. Just as he turned to leave, he stopped dead in his tracks and whipped his head around, looking shocked. Alex suddenly rises to his feet as his wounds seem to heal right before his very eyes. Kenna's face goes pale as he realizes Alex is still alive. Alex didn't think twice before giving up his left eye and then stared coldly at Kenna to see if he was done playing. Alex flicks on eyes of eternal freeze, and a dark, icy circle erupts around Kenta, locking him in place as freezing blue energy surges through him. Alex steps forward and demands to know where Uncle Jin is. Kenna shakes his head and vows he won't say a single word. As Kenna screams in pain with his arms frozen shut, the icy curse grows even colder and stronger. A body tumbles out of the closet and slams onto the floor. Kenta's girlfriend rushes in, grabs Jin, and warns she'll pull the trigger unless he lets him go. Kenna laughs at her and makes fun of her trying to look like a hero. Looking down from above, Alex shouts for her to stay back and suggests they swap the hostages. She turns her back on him, pulls the trigger, and screams that Alex has to die. Alex grimaces as blood runs down his face, but he forces himself to stand up. Just nearby, Kenna's girlfriend yells his name while holding Jin tight. Her face goes hard the moment Alex shows up behind her, and with a relaxed move, Alex takes her gun and throws it far away. As she screams in terror, a blue curse energy wraps around her hand. Kenna screams at Alex to kill him and insists that his girlfriend knows nothing about it. The next moment, Alex dashes by and cleanly cuts off Kenna's head. Alex didn't pause even for a second. He kept moving and muttered that the noise was driving him crazy. Alex stands over Kenna's body, slicing her off to silence her screaming. Kenta's girlfriend stares in horror at his body and whispers if she is next. Alex calmly tells her he won't harm a woman and lets her go, urging her to leave. She stands frozen with no way to move as Alex sets the city ablaze, sending a wave of dark curse energy rushing into the night sky. At the Jin family mansion, Jin is finally safe and joy fills the room. Lying on the bed, he is shocked to find himself still alive as Alex stands nearby to comfort him. Every week, Jin wonders how Alex managed to pull him back from the brink after he passed out. Alex admits he doesn't know everything, but shares how a friend saved Jin from Kenta and shut down the black market. When asked about Lingay, Alex shrugs that he doesn't know much and tells Jin to get some rest and get ready for the final exam. June steps in with investigators to block Alex's way, telling him he's not going anywhere, and explains that Alex is suspected of being tied to a murder in the city. Alex was taken by surprise when he saw June move faster than he thought possible. Just as Jin is taken away, she yells at Alex to make sure to pay his bail, and the scene ends with the sharp click of his handcuffs locking together. Zora leans in and whispers to Nini that she has some news about Alex. She instantly asks if he has been found, while Zora waits quietly downstairs and coughs to himself before revealing that Alex killed Kenna on his own in a shocking surprise. The Core Investigation Bureau building comes into view as the investigation moves forward. Alex sits still while Lion, a gang member, walks into the room and moves toward him. Leon urges Alex to talk before the lawyer gets there, but Alex stays silent. Frustrated, Leon lunges forward to grab him and sneer at his attitude. He asks where the item is, but Alex just stands there completely calm. Suddenly, Alex snaps, slams Leon to the ground, and demands the item Kenna took. Alex looked up, annoyed by the talk of a key, then admitted he had it but wasn't wearing it. He says the key is with the Investigation Bureau and offers to give it up, but after walking away without a word, Alex suddenly hits Lion, leaving him bleeding while everyone around them gasps in shock. Alex stands over him, asking for a phone call, while Leon laments that all this pain could have been avoided. Alex bowed his head and promised that he would pay back the kindness he just received many times over. 10 minutes later, I hear footsteps coming closer as someone makes their way over. Leon looks up and sees Zora with a surprised look. Zora calmly asks Lion to go now that the key is already in his hand. As Alex watches, he feels confused and starts wondering if he's been pulled into a secret plot. Zora says he had his own reasons, and he warns that showing Alex's still-form body would make him target. Alex stays quiet while his mind runs wild, wondering if killing Zora is the only way to keep the secret safe. Then he scratches his head and wonders what Zora means by an undying body. Zora calmly tells us Alex never meant to hurt him and finally realizes Alex's body will never die. Alex glances at him and asks what he wants while Zora steps up to offer him the chance to become her disciple. Alex freezes at the idea of becoming a disciple until Zora coughs and tells him he's running out of time, so the weight of it all now falls on Alex's shoulders. Alex wonders why the key is here and questions why Layan didn't receive it. Zora shoves another key into his hand, telling him the first one was a fake, and this one is the real ancient apocalypse key. He then tells the tale of how the key, once turned, had let loose 7 ancient treasures and terrible demons. Zora tells us that ancient treasures lie hidden all over the world, and each one holds power we can hardly imagine. Then he shows that the ancient apocalypse key is the only thing that can open those sealed gates. Zora asks Alex if he's ready to become his apprentice and help finish the job. Zora praises his bright future, but then shares one last secret she wants him to take care of. Zora asks Alex to look after Nini once she is no longer here. Alex pauses and stumbles over his words before finally promising Zora that he'll live a long time. Zora laughs and tells Nene that she still has plenty of room to grow, so there's no need to hurry. As they get ready to leave, the story ends with Nene staring at the house in shock, wondering how her father could ever accept Alex as a disciple. Alex gives her a calm nod and says, "Just ask your dad right now." She rushes at Zora and yells, demanding to know why a stranger is inside their home. Zora tells everyone that Alex is her student and backs him up, insisting he is much tougher than he looks. Nini laughs it off and mocks Alex, calling him a coward and a fraud. Nini tells Alex he has no place here and orders him to leave the house. Alex quietly asks his master if she wants him to watch over her. Zora stops us and calls out that the big test is almost here. Then she slips a small box into Alex's hands, saying it might come in handy. Alex lifts the lid and peeks inside, not a clue what lies hidden within. Zora then tells Alex that his strange look is just a mask, and his real self will show once it's taken off. As Alex stepped closer, Luke shouted, "I see you coming." He pulls Alex aside to tell him that he heard Alex has already accepted the master, so the issue is finally settled. Nene points angrily at Alex and shouts that he tricked her dad. Suddenly, everything turns violent with blood flying onto the side of the bus right next to them. Soon after, Principal Gosh steps up to tell the students to study hard for their final test. The students squeeze their fists tight just as the crowd erupts into cheers. 30 minutes later, the Core City Gate comes into view as buses roll in below. Alex looks up at the huge building and says he's never seen it before. He nudges Luke to stick close and keep the plan. Then the facilitator steps up to declare the gate opening and calls on everyone to get ready for the trial. The ground splits open and dust swirls up around the gate just as it swings wide. The group steps forward as the final test officially starts. Luke bolts forward and shouts that he'll never let Alex beat him. From above, people watch and talk about how many students might get into Daxia Academy this year. Principal Gosh watches silently and warns them not to get too confident. The air grows thick with a terrible smell, and the group quickly realizes it's coming from the rotting bodies of demon beasts. Out of nowhere, a bloodthirsty demon lizard bursts onto the scene, letting out a deafening roar that sends everyone into a panic. The beast lunges forward while students scream and run in every direction. From afar, some joke that the level 5 demon lizard isn't scary enough to give them cause for worry. Alex ignores the chatter, bolts ahead, and yells for everyone to move. Alex swings his sword once and slices the demon lizard clean in half. The people nearby stare in shock and whisper about how scary his weapon looks. Alex then turned around and called Luke over to finish the job. Luke moves in and lands the final hit, making sure the enemy is truly gone. As the team tackles the challenge together, Nene watches with sharp focus, certain she will beat Alex this time. Alex cleans up the last few demon beasts just as experience pop-ups light up the screen. Luke makes it to level 8 and can't quite believe how fast he got there. Alex steps in and says not to get excited just yet because the area has already been cleared. Luke asks if they should go deeper, knowing the level 20 demon beasts will run away from him. While the Academy's high towers watch, the leaders are confused because Alex has already joined Daxia Academy and wonder why he keeps going deeper. Alex and Luke tore through the forest at full speed, not stopping for a second. Suddenly, their way is blocked as demon beasts burst out and roar at them. Alex shouts a warning to Luke, telling him that the level 20 beasts are deadly and he needs to stay sharp. He grabs his chest as blood spreads and admits the lifespan sword will soon stop working. Suddenly, forbidden power bursts forth and lightning strikes the ground. Luke stares in shock as 20-level demon monsters vanish in an instant. Suddenly, Examiner Kyle steps in and yells for them to stop, warning that messing with the test is strictly forbidden. Alex nods, admitting they can't go further and that they must be leaving the test zone. His eyes turn cold and alert the moment he smells something dangerous. Alex pulls Luke back and tells him to keep his eyes open because danger is closing in. Luke ignores the warning and refuses to fall for a cheap trick, but in the next breath, a level 33 goblin hero bursts out and roars as it charges. Kyle spots the monster and screams at everyone to run. The goblin hero crashes on the ground, throwing dust and rocks flying everywhere. Alex stood in front of Luke to stop the attack, telling him to run while he stayed behind to hold him off. He pulls back against his will as Alex commands him to shut up and get out. As Alex stands alone against the monster, he knows that destroying it will force him to show the dark power hiding inside him. Alex casts a forbidden spell to fuel the sacrifice as wild power surges around him, while Luke rushes forward to shield him and stand at the front. Suddenly, the goblin hero's strike knocks Kyle off his feet. Alex moves so fast he snatches Kyle and yanks him back just in the nick of time. Suddenly, blue lightning crashes down as Alex finishes his spell and unleashes it on the goblin hero. The glow from Alex's lightning strike slowly fades, but the goblin hero is still standing. Alex wished Kyle would fall asleep so he could fight without holding back. A short while after, 2 examiners show up. Scarlet questions what's happening, just as Anton shouts for everyone to flee the spot immediately. Alex nods and promises to carry the injured examiner away. Then Alex decides to give it a go. He picks up the mask, slips it on, and copies Kyle's face to hide who he really is. Scarlet urges them to kill the goblin quickly until Anton notices something. Alex shows up to help, but he still has to act like Kyle. The lights crackle while Alex tells the examiners to watch him kill the goblin. Without a second's thought, Alex unleashes the forbidden eternal arrow, wiping out the goblin and triggering system alerts for the level 33 kill, only for him to spot a dropped item in the settling dust with wide-eyed surprise. Anton storms forward, shouting at Alex and blaming him for messing things up. Alex insists there's no need to make a scene and even jokes that he's kind. Scarlet laughs off the comment and tells Anton to just drop it. Alex pulls off his mask and whispers that he will be gone before anyone can find him. Then the scene shifts to a map of the forest's edge, marking the very last teleportation gate. Kyle lies still on the ground while Alex sits beside him, noting that the illusion skin works perfectly. He pulls out the talisman and sees that it lets him share his experiences with others. Suddenly, a cry for help echoes nearby. Then Luke sprints through the woods in terror as a monster pursues him, while Anubis charges forward to smash down with crushing force. Luke freezes in terror and screams as the attack closes in on him. Suddenly, Alex bursts in and drags Luke to safety. Alex calmly tells him the goblin is already taken care of and asks Luke to stay still while he checks his hurt hand. Anubis slams his weapon down just as Luke screams a warning. Alex slashes with a forbidden move, sending dark energy flying, and the system quickly cheers as the level 13 Anubis soldier falls and his experience grows. Luke stares in shock as he sees the symbiotic talisman come alive. Alex then orders Luke to kill the boss himself, leaving him completely confused. Alex shouts at Luke to stop tailing him and says they have to level up on their own so they can get the most out of their time together. Luke pauses for a moment before saying yes, admitting he can't fight many monsters by himself. The werewolf lets out a terrifying roar and lunges at the group, stealing everyone's focus. Suddenly, Alex vanishes and pops back up in a flash, moving faster than you can blink. Blue lightning crashes down, and he wipes out 3 werewolves in a heartbeat, leaving everyone frozen in shock. The crowd realizes Alex is the forbidden spellcaster and wonders how he kills monsters so quickly. They see him getting better and point out that the device on his wrist is fixing him. Alex stays silent, knowing he must keep his secret of living forever hidden from everyone. Suddenly, a level 20 Minotaur bursts onto the scene and charges, sending the crowd screaming in terror. The group runs away in fear, screaming that the monster can kill anyone in a split second. Alex chuckles while standing in front of the level 20 Minotaur. Then, in a flash, he blasts upward, leaving a trail of blue energy in his wake. As Alex flies through the air and slashes his blade for a final blow, Luke below stares in shock at the power Alex has stolen from him, while Principal Gosh watches the whole fight on a screen. Gosh lets out a sigh and says that if Alex weren't a forbidden spellcaster, he could have taken down another mighty monster. Just as the fan whirs to life, Ben notices and declares that being late is actually a good thing. Now that the danger is fading, the group sprints through the woods and heads straight for the teleportation gate. As they move, Alex checks his status and realizes he has reached level 18. Alex stops at the huge gate and declares it's time to step into the final exam zone. He steps up and puts his foot down on the stone path. As he walks forward, a dark power surges behind him. Alex stares up at the building ahead, silently questioning if this really is the final test. Alex steps into the final exam zone and sees just how many people have gathered. Luke can't stop cheering and showing off how he's already climbed all the way to level 15. Right beside us, Nene grumbles that all that fighting only gave her 2 levels, but she shakes it off without a second thought. Suddenly, an examiner walks in and yells at everyone to be quiet. Chief Examiner Yuan greets everyone and officially kicks off the final test. He says the forest beyond the city is the gate, and only those who make it through the journey get to go on. As he shouts that the test has 2 parts, the huge gate swings open. Next, he explains that the big final round and the full checkup are the last steps of the journey. Winning in the ring could earn them up to 150 marks, which determines who wins the top scorer title. Yuan shouts that special items are off limits and warns that anyone who breaks the rule will be kicked out of the game. The students quickly line up just as the big test begins. Alex stands frozen as lightning crackles around him, knowing this is the moment he has been waiting for. He clenches his fist and decides to carve out his own future. The huge gate swings open wide to mark the beginning. Yuan looks at the list of people left to take the test, and just then Gina, the boss from the Supreme Academy, shows up late with an apology while strange energy swirls around him. Yuan waves the concern away and asks if anyone from the test has gone missing. After flipping through the files, Gina sees that only a handful of rare cases are left, including Alex at level 18. He explains that even though Alex is a forbidden spellcaster, the Supreme Academy will still take him in, which Yuan laments because it means Korra missed out on gaining another powerful talent as the test results finally appear. The examiners talk about how weird it is that a forbidden spellcaster has such huge strength. The announcement kicks off the 3rd round of the challenge and tells everyone to unleash their most powerful attack skill. Alex stares at his hand, wondering if he should unleash his godlike power of chaos and thunder, even though doing so would give him away. Alex chooses to use just the tiniest thunder to start the sacrifice. He shoots up into the sky, wrapped in blue lightning, before crashing down hard onto the ground below. Sneaking a peek from the side, the examiners are shocked to see that even small attacks below level 25 are causing such massive damage. Some people scream that Alex is only level 18 and wonder how everything vanished in one hit. Everyone suddenly realizes that Alex is casting forbidden spells during the final test. Alex walks through the ruined land where lightning-burned shadows still linger. As the shaking stops and the last bit of power vanishes, Alex sees the system messages pop up to tell him he got a perfect score on every part of the big test. Yuan can't believe how scary Alex's strength is for someone his age. Another then looks at Yuan and asks if the last stage should be made harder for him. The instructors argue about whether to accept Alex, pointing out that forbidden spellcasters grow stronger but lose their lives in the process. Yuan glanced at the results inside, admitting it was truly a shame. In the last room of the test, the few people left keep walking forward. Luke dashes over to Alex and cries out with pride that he got a score of 96. Alex wonders why the score wasn't perfect, while Luke grumbles about the points he lost during the fight test. The scores were read out loud, and Alex stood at the very top with a perfect score. After the announcement that anyone with 85 or more points can quit and lose their ring battle, Nene stands up to ask why she is ranked below Alex when she got a perfect score too, causing the crowd to scream about unfairness until Yuan steps in and points everyone to the big screen. The test takers cheer for Nene, yet they admit Alex is in a league of his own after taking down a level 25 Flame Wolf with a single move. The examinees shout in disbelief as they watch the replay, finally realizing how Alex earned first place by taking down a demonic Flame Wolf in under a second, while everyone else got full marks. Yuan asks if anyone has any final complaints, and Nini pauses as the examiner announces that those who scored 85 or higher can relax and get ready for the tournament. The rankings show that Alex came in first, having beaten out the top 2 scores from Korra Academy. Principal Gosh chuckles and says the Academy was lucky this year. The rules warn them not to cheer too soon, reminding them that the real test is the tournament itself. Half an hour later, Nene and Alex pass each other in silence without saying a word. Nene squeezes her fist tight, promising she won't let Alex win the tournament. Alex sees that something isn't right with her and wonders what's wrong. As the tournament rules are shouted out, they reveal exactly how the lottery works and who gets to move on. The board shows that number 18, Alex, is ready to face off against number 86. With Luke shouting words of encouragement, Alex turns to say he's going to head out. The examiner asks both players to state their job and skill level right as the match starts. Bah, the water mage, laughs and demands he give up even though he knows Alex is powerful. But Alex just holds up his hand as lightning starts to build up around it. The next second, blue lightning crashes down and tears right through the arena. The battlefield gets covered in bright light while the crowd watches in shock. The students gasp and stumble backward as a bolt of lightning crashes down, blinding and crushing Bay. As the ground cracks and the power fades, the examiner rushes in to tell Alex that killing is not allowed in the tournament. Alex calmly tells Ba he isn't there to kill him, only to make him surrender. Ba is so scared he falls down and gives up. The students whispered in shock, calling Alex ruthless for making the water mage cry. Alex speaks quietly to Bay, telling him to give up without pushing for more. The examiner calls out Alex as the winner of the first round and gives him 10 points. Alex looks away, thinking it's a shame, while Nene watches from the side, grips her weapon tighter, and shouts that Alex will never beat her. While Luke boldly steps up to challenge him, Rocky, the spearman, lands without a second thought in another part of the arena. Luke chuckles in disbelief, admitting he's never seen a gap this big before. The results fly by while winners get called out one after another. The second round has officially begun, and Shane, the cloud-stepping swordsman, warns that taking on Alex is going to be no easy fight. Shane grabs himself and swears he'll still win the fight. Alex slowly pulls out his knife, and Shane knows he can't take his eyes off him for even a second. Panic spreads instantly as Shane suddenly screams that he gives up. He waves his hand up, bringing the game to a sudden stop right there. Alex stood frozen, staring in shock as it all ended in such a blink. Shane clenched his teeth, vowing that he would have won and that revenge was just around the corner. The examiner shouts that Alex takes the second round and earns 10 points. Around them, the examinees stare in shock, unable to believe Alex moved forward without throwing a single punch. As the third round begins, Alex's next opponent stares at him in terror and curses his terrible luck. The examinees whispered in shock that Alex had survived 3 rounds using just one forbidden skill. Now the focus turns to a different arena where weapons clash violently as Gerard, a swordsman, fights Rocky in a fierce battle. Gerard declares that his opponent will lose, but Rocky responds that it won't happen. Watching the fight, others admit that seeing strong opponents clash is truly scary. The crowd turns to watch another fierce battle unfold as weapons clash on the screen. Yuan asks Gina who will win, and she says it's Rocky. Rocky doesn't hesitate a second before launching his Shadow Cloud Pierce Spear move. Dark energy slams down and knocks Gerard flat onto the ground. The fight ends in a spray of blood, and the examiner declares that Alex will skip the 5th round again. Alex suddenly jumps with a start. Nene and Luke face off against one another. Nene watches Luke and wonders why he would pick Alex to serve. Luke shouts that Alex is his boss and tells everyone not to look down on him. Nene throws a storm of fire at Luke, and he has to jump around to stay safe. Flames erupt one after another, shaking the entire arena. As fire blasts up from the ground and throws Luke into the air, he struggles forward but knows he can't get close enough because they are too far away to reach him. Looking down from above, Nene calmly mocks him and dares him to keep dodging. A huge column of fire shoots up right in front of Luke, stopping him in his tracks. He leaps onto the rising fire, just missing the explosion right below him. When Luke realizes he can't keep running, he stops and swings his sword to slice right through the fire. From above, Nene stays calm and watches what happens next. Luke gasps for air, but keeps fighting anyway. Nene yells at his stubbornness and blasts a huge wave of fire at him, demanding he give up, and as the flames swallow him, she warns that anyone who underestimates her will face consequences while the examiners sense his defeat and Alex notes he is clearly outmatched. But from above, Nene sees him and screams in shock as she pushes him past his limits. Luke jumps out of the fire and charges straight at her to fight. He yells out as he hits, showing that this was just a warning. Luke struggles to stay on his feet and begs Nene not to push him any harder. He hits the ground hard, and Alex immediately rushes over to shout his name. The officials cry out for the medics as things suddenly get bad. Alex drops to his knees next to Luke, urging him to hold on while he quickly checks his wounds. Nene steps closer, apologizes, and admits she didn't mean for things to get this bad. The examiner shakes his head and says Luke isn't about to die, but those nasty burns mean he needs to head to the hospital right now. Now the spotlight moves to the quarterfinals, and we learn who will face each other next. The ideas talk about whether Rocky will win, and one answer comes with total confidence. Some other rules say a level 18 forbidden spellcaster can't even cast a single spell. Principal Gosh cuts off the shouting and shouts that the round is finally beginning. Rocky steps forward and shouts that he's finally ready to fight Alex. He brags that as long as Alex is still on his feet, he'll be the top scorer this year. Alex challenges Rocky's confidence right as Rocky lifts his weapon. Just as the match starts, Rocky runs in without any hesitation. Alex steps in to block the first strike and shows he won't use forbidden magic, choosing to win with his lifetime of sword training instead. Rocky can't believe that a forbidden spellcaster would fight with a sword right up close. He hits hard with a strong downward blow, hoping to crush him. Alex quickly summons his lifespan sword to clash directly with the incoming strike. Rocky grunts and shouts in pain as the heavy blow knocks him backward. The crowd in the arena whispers about Alex, wondering why he isn't casting any spells. The principals soon understand that Alex isn't casting a forbidden spell, but using a sword move that trades his own life years for power. They argue over how many times he can swing and if the victory is worth the price. On the battlefield, Alex pushes forward and asks Rocky if he is ready to give up. With nowhere left to go, Rocky explodes in anger and screams that Alex forced him to act. He then answers back with a heavy shadow strike, slamming his attack down hard. Alex suddenly feels something is off and knows danger is right there. His eyes lock onto the forbidden spell talisman in Rocky's hand, and he knows what is coming. Rocky slams his weapon down to unleash the Shadow Dragon Meteor, aiming to end her life. The spell strikes Alex straight on, tearing a cut right into his skin. A huge shockwave rushes across the arena right after the forbidden spell bursts. As Alex's sword plunges deep into the earth and black blood trickles from his wound, he grits his teeth to keep going while Rocky looms above him, mocking him with the promise that his end is almost here. As Alex drops his head, the crowd starts to wonder if the game is really over. The crowd whispers in shock, realizing Rocky just used a forbidden spell that nearly destroyed his body. The crowd explodes into furious shouting, blaming Yahello Academy for letting Rocky use a banned spell, while others scream for medics and refuse to accept that Rocky cheated. Nene watches the scene and admits she couldn't have stopped that attack either. Her heart races with worry as she questions if he's truly gone and blames Rocky for pushing things too far. Rocky sneers at Alex, mocking him for still being a loser even at level 18. Alex raised his head and quietly asked who decided he'd lost. With blood running down his face, he floats upward as his heart heals instantly, proving that a forbidden spellcaster can only die if their own magic kills them. The crowd gasped in shock when they realized he was still breathing after that deadly hit. The examiners watch closely as Alex, who has learned a lost forbidden spell, calmly shows that he is ready to trade his own life force to heal deadly wounds and take his turn. A thunderclap so loud it could shatter the world strikes down, turning the sky into a towering pillar of blinding lightning. The arena explodes when the hit cracks the ground wide open. Rocky screams in horror that it's impossible. Then the thunder swallows him as the attack overwhelms him. The crowd screams in fear, still shaking from the terrifying power they just saw. The judge shouts that Alex wins and screams for the medics to come running. As the dust finally settles, Alex looks up the stairs and sees the principals watching him. They share a quick look and quietly agree that everything is ready. Alex coughs so hard he nearly falls, while the other students argue that the forbidden spell destroyed his insides, but Alex decides to act like it's true. Principal Sue suddenly shouts for a report, claiming Yahello Academy lets forbidden spells slip past guards meant for a level 18 job changer. The other principals push back right away, shouting that only the winner counts and that Yahello Academy has already crossed the line. Alex lay on the ground and thought that the final exam felt more exhausting than his fight with Kenta. Falling debris grabs his attention, and he feels that more trouble is on the way. Nene takes a step forward, urging him to rest and heal before they move again. Alex shakes his head calmly, saying there is no need to take advantage. 30 minutes later, the mood changes as the announcement echoes through the room, declaring that the final round is about to start and the winner will take home the title of top scorer for this year. As Nene watches Alex closely, she wonders just how dangerous that last fight really was. Alex thinks back to that forbidden spell Rocky cast and realizes it could have badly hurt her. Without even a second's thought, Nene dashes forward and unleashes a burst of fiery phoenix flame. The stadium goes wild as Alex stands tall, raising his shield to take the blazing hit straight on. Alex spins through the air, dodging a wall of fire that crashes past him just in time. The crowd gets confused and starts asking why he won't fight back. Nene pushes forward to face him and asks why he keeps running away. Alex steps back again and quietly asks himself if there's any rule that says he can't. Nene's patience finally snaps, so she draws on her strength and vows to see just how long he can hold out. As Nene presses her advantage, a violent spiral of fire bursts into the air. Alex realizes the magic is too dangerous to control while he is trapped in the raging fire. Without even thinking, he pushes himself faster and suddenly leaps into action. A bright line shoots straight up through the fire, ripping a clean path through the spinning whirlwind. As Nene follows Alex's quick movements, she realizes just how fast he has become. Nene stumbles backward, screaming as her attack misses. Alex steps right up, lifts his sword, and quietly says the game has ended. Humiliated, Nene explodes with rage and screams at him for making her look foolish. She refuses to give up and charges forward in a blind fury. Alex slips right past her strike and mutters to himself how arrogant and reckless her fighting has become. Neen laughs at Alex, challenging him to keep dodging as long as he can. She pulls the power to her center while the flames twist inward around her in the middle of the arena. The crowd freezes while heavy tension hangs in the air. Suddenly, Nene breaks free and lets out a swirling fire tornado. Alex springs into action and darts through the attack, just barely escaping the furious fire. Alex watched the flames twist toward him, realizing the fire was chasing his every move. Fire chases him as he sprints across the arena with everything he has. Nene urges her to give up, but Alex sneers and asks if she's talking to herself. Suddenly, Alex explodes into a sprint and heads straight for Nene. Nene warns that using a homing skill against such speed in a direct fight is a terrible mistake. Alex calmly replies that this is basic knowledge everyone should know, but as the burning vortexes spin tighter around them, Nene stares him down and mutters that he's dreaming if he thinks she'll back down. She then gathers her fiery power and vows to win no matter what, even if she has to force it, while Nene's dad screams in panic, warning her not to go too far. Meanwhile, the people in the stands jump to their feet and race forward to try and save them both. Massive columns of fire keep swirling around the arena as the pressure rises. Alex rushes forward in a sudden burst and tells Nene that she's taking too many risks. He yanks her wrist hard to stop the spell, tosses her aside, and forces a sacrifice that shatters the attack, causing the furious flames to crash down and shake the whole arena. Suddenly, a giant stone wall bursts out of the ground as the wailing wall comes to life. Suddenly, a scary stone face with devilish features appears on its surface. His eyes glow red as a wall shoots up to stop the fire, leaving the crowd below stunned that a student just used such a forbidden spell. As the object holds steady, Alex squeezes his fist and realizes he got lucky by unlocking the spell right then. Alex steps closer and sharply tells Nene to stop playing around, pointing out how messy she looks. Suddenly, she groaned as a strange weakness seized her body. While confused onlookers from the sidelines wonder why her attack suddenly stalled, Alex steps in to knock her off balance. She crashes to the ground while the crowd watches in confusion as Alex and Nene are finally pulled apart. Standing by the sidelines, Zora looks ashamed to see his daughter humiliated. Nene shouts out to Alex, refusing to let her think she's done. Before anything else happens, the examiner shouts that Alex has won the final round and gives him 10 marks. After looking at the results and seeing the crowd cheer for him as the top scorer, Alex finally lets go and relaxes. With the crowd cheering wildly, Alex instantly picks the Supreme Academy as top scorer, while a silent, creepy figure watches from the shadows, sensing trouble is coming. Soon, some officials walk up and tell Alex he can't get into the Supreme Academy. Alex turns around, confused, while everyone starts to crowd together. Gina stares in shock and tells Alex he can never step into the Supreme Academy, for he is a forbidden spellcaster. Alex takes the explanation without arguing and quietly lets everyone know he gets it. The crowd watches in puzzlement as the top scorer gets turned away. Just as things were about to calm down, a voice suddenly cut them off. Then Zora rushes over with Alex and shows them the problem they were worried about already has a solution. Gina looks at him and asks what he means. Zora says he found a way to cut down the harm caused by using forbidden spells. Gina stares in shock, wondering if what she's seeing could truly be real. Zora calmly replies that his skill as an astrologer lets him slow down the loss of life caused by forbidden spells. Still, Gina warns that the Supreme Academy won't take forbidden spellcasters, but Zora insists, while the examinees whisper quietly, trying to guess the link between the two. Alex tells Zora to stop thinking about the Supreme Academy, saying it's just another ordinary school. Suddenly, a blue figure zooms in at lightning speed and stops the talk dead in its tracks. Alex hears a loud shout to watch out as the attack rushes right at him. In the blink of an eye, Alex moves to block the blue energy as it explodes outward. Alex catches the unexpected blow and shouts out to find out who hit him. The mysterious stranger insists that the forbidden spellcaster is just a puff of windswept dust. He then steps forward, telling Alex to remember him as Lucas, a first-year student at Supreme Academy. Gina jumps in right away, scolding Lucas and telling him to say sorry. Lucas just laughs it off, saying he had no bad intentions and was only trying to see how strong Alex was. The officials move closer to check if Alex is hurt, and he nods to say he's okay. Alex asks everyone what just happened as they all get back together after the sudden fight. Lucas laughs with a mocking sneer, telling Alex he can challenge him whenever he's ready. Lucas warns that if Alex dares to survive, he will surely come back for revenge. He laughs out loud, sneering at Alex and claiming there's no way Alex could ever beat him in this life. Alex promises that someday they will meet again in a deadly fight. Zora pleads with him not to act on impulse, leaving the crowd staring in shock. Alex looks on calmly and wonders if Lucas really has the nerve to take on such a big challenge. Lucas refuses to back down, instantly agrees to the challenge, and schedules the duel for a year from now. Alex turns away with a small smile, admitting the Supreme Academy actually looks pretty interesting. As he walks forward, the crowd erupts into cheers and chants Alex's name as Korra's top scorer. Alex checks on Nini and asks Zora if she is okay, and when Alex mentions the past, Zora admits that Gina was his first love right as Nene hears it from the top of the stairs. Alex stands frozen in shock as the truth suddenly hits him. Alex listens as Zora sizes him up and tells him how he first met Gina as a young cadet at the academy, where they were close friends until they eventually drifted apart because of their big differences. Hearing this, Nene asks if they ever made up, and Zora pauses to admit they never did. Alex takes it all in and quietly sighs, wishing things hadn't ended this way. Zora urges Alex to leave his past behind, promising that it won't hold him back from his future. He then tells Alex to pick Dasha Academy, promising that it's the perfect place to grow. Alex takes the suggestion in his stride and nods that the academy sounds perfect to him. The next day, everyone rushes toward a towering building. Standing at the entrance, Principal Gosh shouts that the top students from Korra Academy have just arrived. Gina shouts the big news that Nene has officially been given the green light to join the Supreme Academy. Nene stands close by and whispers to herself that she has finally beaten Alex. Gosh then reveals that Alex is still set to get his $5 million top score prize. Wayne, the ruler of Korra City, steps up to welcome Alex and tells him his spirit is truly amazing. As they shake hands, the crowd's quiet buzz shows that Wayne has already won Alex's respect. Alex asks the city lord, Wayne, when the promised $5 million reward will finally be handed over. Wayne said the reward is being readied and will be there in just a moment. Then, assistants step forward, each holding a special prize for the person with the highest score. It turns out Alex will also get a legendary scroll that lets him pick his own epic skills. When Alex learned that the top scorer could take no damage inside the realm, he couldn't believe his ears. Alex is shocked to find out the top scorer realm protects him from harm, and Wayne cheers him on, saying he expects great things to happen next. Wayne then explains that reaching the highest score in the realm will earn you the title of the nation's top scorer. Clutching the reward tightly, Alex says with confidence that he will take that title. Wayne chuckles with relief and says it's time to take a group picture. As Zora leads Alex through the trees, she tells him never to waste his life on powerful moves in the realm of the top scorer. Alex calmly replies that while the secret realm is safe from harm, Zora insists he has other things to do and must go on alone. Alex nods calmly and says it's no problem at all. Walking through the busy streets, Alex realizes he is seeing Korra for the very first time. Soon he steps out beside the marina building and stops to look around at everything. Outside, the receptionist checks that he is who he says he is and leads him to his room. The receptionist gently explains to Alex that the top score realm isn't ready to open yet, so he has all the time in the world to rest. Alex sank onto the bed, finally letting go of the tension from all the chaos. Looking at the reward in his hand, he thinks about the top score realm and wonders if he should head out to explore Korra. Out of nowhere, a loud pounding on the door made it swing wide. Alex wakes up confused, trying to figure out who is pounding on the door to his lonely room. A loud pounding suddenly shakes the room, jolting Alex out of his thoughts. He turns around confused and asks, "Who is there?" As the door swings open, Lily, another student, steps out into the hallway and gives him a hard stare. Alex instantly asks who she is and why she's in his room. Before he could even move, Lily lunged forward and threw a punch. Lily snaps at Alex, yelling that he's lying and telling him to stop pulling her leg. With nowhere else to turn, Alex has no choice but to step up and take action. Suddenly, dark wooden roots burst from the floor, locking Lily in place as the realm of wood awakens. She panics and fights as the roots squeeze tighter, knowing there is no way out. Watching her struggle, Alex calmly explains that fighting is useless and commands her quit. Alex held up his room card to Lily, pointing out that his room was number 6099. Lily gasps when she sees her card says the same thing. And just as the mix-up is solved, Alex breaks the spell and the wooden roots pull back. He urges her to take another look if she still doesn't believe him. Lily looks at her card in a daze, realizing the number is really 66069. Lily stares down at the room card in shock, unable to figure out how it changed so suddenly. She realizes her mistake and quickly apologizes for acting without thinking. Alex waves it away, tells her not to worry, and asks the staff to fix the broken door later. Lily walks beside him, trying to make it up by offering to buy him a meal. While walking through the city streets at night, Lily tells us she is a chorus student. Lily confesses that she dreamed of joining the Supreme Academy, but they turned her away. Hearing this, Alex gasped in surprise and explained that no matter how powerful, forbidden spellcasters are always rejected. Lily then awkwardly realizes Alex is just like her and trails off. Alex waves it off, telling her to let it go since there's no point in dwelling on the past. Lily tries to lift the mood by suggesting they head to a famous nearby restaurant for a meal. Just as Alex and Lily arrive at the venue, a sudden voice shouts out to Lily. She spun around in surprise, instantly recognizing Rona, the entertainer, who stepped right up to mock Lily. She boldly flirts with Alex, but he calmly declines while telling her to stay back because he's just here to eat with friends and she has bad breath, which makes Lily laugh while Rona snaps back at him. Rona quickly regains her cool, steps forward with a sneer, and tells Alex he has lost his chance. Alex completely ignores her and says to Lily, "Let's go eat somewhere else." All of a sudden, a person steps in front of them to stop their walk. Shurao, a powerful angel warrior, steps forward and instantly tells Alex to say sorry to Rona. Shurao looks down on the crowd with a sneer, screaming that anyone from small place like theirs deserves his hatred. Rona turns to Alex and says to treat this as a lesson, while Lily freezes in horror when she sees how strong Shurao is and realizes they can't win. Hearing all this, Alex just says he hates rich people like himself. As Shurao unleashes his power, the street is suddenly bathed in the warm glow of a radiant angel. Alex shouts that he's ready to take on a level 2 angel paladin. As Shurao's holy wings spread out, the crowd around him gathers in shock. Before the trouble gets too bad, an investigator steps in to say that anyone changing jobs is not allowed to fight inside the city. Lily chats with Alex and points out that the top scorer realm is about to open. Shurao lets them know one last time not to cause any trouble in the top scorer realm. He calls Rona to go, and they walk away together. Left behind, Lily bows her head and apologizes to Alex for making things messy again. Alex wonders who that stranger is and why Rona acts so mean toward her. Lily lets out a quiet sigh and finally admits that Rona is her half-sister, explaining that their fight has been going on since they were little kids. Alex invites Lily to eat a meal and asks her not to think about what happened before. Lily glances around, realizing they're still eating at this famous spot where the food tastes amazing. The third day begins as a huge crowd gathers to watch the giant gate of the top scorer's realm rise before them. A surveillance camera suddenly flicked on with a sharp beep. Zen, their boss, speaks up to let everyone know the top scorer realm is finally opening. Zen shouts for everyone to get ready, and as Lily spots the mountain of food, she turns to Alex to ask why he packed so much. Alex speaks in a calm voice, saying they'll stay inside the hidden realm for a few days so he won't go hungry. Before anyone could even speak, Zen raised a finger and declared that there were rules they had to follow. Once you step into the hidden place, he warns, you can never leave, or terrible things will happen. Zen lifts his hands to give his second warning, and suddenly the whole crowd stops to listen. He warns that losing a limb in the secret realm is forever and urges everyone to bring healing supplies if they can. Zen warns that getting eaten by a monster is terrible because the pain of being digested is unbearable. The testers felt nervous, realizing that immunity doesn't stop you from feeling pain. Zen finishes by wishing the top scorers luck and then orders the teleportation portal to open. He tells everyone that they have to get their teams ready before they can go in. Lily asks Alex to team up, and he immediately agrees to carry the supplies. But their talk is cut short when Carlos steps in to call him out and offers to team up with Lily instead. Lily steps forward and unleashes her power to scare Carlo, while Rona shouts out to anyone who wants to join their team, grabbing the attention of several testers and drawing Shurao's focus straight to Alex. He shows off how he dug into Alex's past and laughs at him for being from a tiny town. Shurao locks his eyes on Alex and says this is your last shot, ordering you to drop to your knees and beg for mercy. Alex just chuckled and called him an idiot to brush him off. Shurao loses his grip and dashes forward, swinging his weapon in a wild, frantic arc. Before Zen can take the hit, he blocks the strike and yells for him to call it off before things get out of hand. Zen yells that the secret place is finally open for everyone to enter. Shurao tells Alex to hold off for now and handle him later, while Lily shouts a warning from the crowd, calling Shurao reckless and begging Alex to stay safe inside. Alex didn't care about the worry and just walked straight toward the glowing entrance. Moments later, Alex and Lily step inside to find a place that looks strangely peaceful, even though danger is hiding right there. Suddenly, a stone gargoyle smashes down in front of them, and Lily screams that it's a level 20 monster. She grows bigger so Alex can save his energy. She laughs at the stone gargoyle and sneers that she will crush it like nothing. Alex watches the beast battle like a demon and, realizing it's not worth the wait, quickly moves on. In the blink of an eye, he lets go of his cursed magic, and the gargoyle's body bursts apart. Lily stared at the scene in shock after the monster was killed instantly. A system message pops up to confirm the kill and hand out your experience points. Alex notes that the secret realm's damage immunity is lucky, because his body would have shattered from the backlash of such brutal, sacrifice-based forbidden spells, leaving Lily in stunned disbelief. Without wasting a moment, Alex urges her to keep moving and warns that as the monsters grow stronger, they will dive even deeper, while he walks along thinking about how his power as a forbidden spellcaster cost him his spot at the Supreme Academy, and he feels calm about the fact that trading his life for the freedom to do what he wants isn't such a bad trade at all. Suddenly, Alex feels danger coming and jerks his head up. In the next instant,